Develocode is a black-owned software development company here in Cincinnati, Ohio, and we focus on building MVPs and beyond for our clients for any of their technical needs. We've been lucky enough to work with University of Michigan as well as the University of Kettering in Detroit. And hopefully we'll be doing some work with the University of Cincinnati here soon.
Yeah.
I see a vision for Cincinnati as an ethical AI hub being the place where it happens. I feel like right now there are not a lot of guardrails on AI at the moment, and the idea is to put those guardrails in place so that we can keep our people safe. Not only that, but keep users safe and keep investors safe as well.
Yeah, I think Cincinnati is at this incredible inflection point where we have seen so much growth, so much investment. In fact, the University of Cincinnati is going to be bigger than Ohio State University in the next few years.
Yeah.
And that's really reflective of the growth in Cincinnati, but also reflective of people coming here and investing their dollars here, particularly into our startup ecosystem. We have been building this ecosystem here in Cincinnati really for the last 10 years, backed by the Fortune 500s in our community, created Centrifuge, Cincy Tech, so much of the infrastructure and ecosystem that we rely on as a community. And so we're really well poised to take on AI innovation and deploy it here at the city government level, but also deploy it for startups who want to get seed capital, who want to test in markets, and also who want to sell potentially to large Fortune 500s. Kroger and Procter & Gamble, headquartered here, largest consumer products company in the world, largest grocer in the country. They have incredible data on consumer behavior and are really well poised based on the large language models that current AI technology is based on to really be a disruptor in the space. And so we're looking forward to Cincinnati being the vanguard for the AI revolution.
Just off topic of that, my team is building a AI product to intake code bases that are built with AI to allow for them to be scanned on right now 11 different dimensions to check for anywhere from security all the way down to even branding, as well as any compliances that we need to follow, web compliances, SOC 2, HIPAA, anything of that sort. So yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so hopefully help keep things safe. Basically, it's going to be insurance for investors to be able to make sure that what they're investing into is a safe investment, as well as for users to show that if something is built with AI, it's there to keep them safe. Yeah, AI is showing biases, a little more projected than we were before, and it's coming through, especially in medical science. I read an article recently about the biases coming through for Black women in medical science with AI, and it really puts that on my heart that I want to make sure that we do this right the first time. And it may not be exactly the right way, but to make sure that when we do AI, we do it right so that everybody can benefit from it correctly. And I do want to make a point. As a Lightship alumni, Lightship Bootcamp alumni, Black Tech Week has really helped set a precedent for my business to be able to carry forward and know that we're in the right place doing the right thing. So.
Yeah,
and that's Black Tech Week.
Candace Burkina at Lightship is the owner and manager of Black Tech Week, from right here in Cincinnati, and really proud of her and proud of her legacy. Yeah, it's the lifeblood of the region. Not only can it enhance it, it has to exist in order to take on some of the real challenges that we face as a community, whether it's generational poverty or generational gun violence. So much of the root cause of these challenges is poverty, and I think technology has the opportunity to really empower creatives, particularly creatives that haven't had other opportunities, either because of their socioeconomic class or because of racism. Now you can have access to a platform at really low barriers to entry, and so really the city's role is to catalyze that investment and to make sure that that all of us are having an opportunity to really take advantage of those skills. Here at the city, we've partnered with the Urban League to invest in tech and IT mentorship, particularly for our small businesses. because what we see from our survey results is that Black small businesses have two significant challenges to start and to grow. One is capital, of course, and the second is mentorship, particularly around technology and digital assets. And so we've really taken those twin challenges head on. We partnered with the Urban League to put $2.5 million into something called the Lincoln and Gilbert Fund, which makes grants to Black small businesses, including startups. And then we've also partnered with them to provide mentoring around technology and investments in that area. And so we're hoping to take on these systemic injustices and to disrupt it, using your parlance, particularly for Black startups and creators.
Absolutely. That really hits close to my heart. I grew up here in Cincinnati. I've been living here since I was 13 years old. Technology was what I wanted to do as a little kid. Being able to code. I played video games and watched the credits go by. I beat Diablo 2 as a real young kid, probably way younger than I should have been playing that, honestly. And knew from there I wanted to be a software developer. Decided to go a different route than game development. But school wasn't really a thing for me. I went through a lot growing up, was abandoned when I was 14 years old, ended up transitioning into a new family. And from there I was able to kind of have that place to grow after getting out of high school. College was not really something for me. So I guess a question I do want to ask you is what is the city doing for children who were like me growing up, who wanted to be in technology? I went to Taft for a year. It didn't really put into anything. That's supposed to be our technical high school. So,
yeah, the city has great collaborations with CPS around this. In fact, earlier this year, it might have been last year, I attended an event at Woodward called Black Boys in Tech.
Absolutely, yeah. Brother Abdul.
Yeah, so
it's actually our first sponsor of this Found
Oh,
Friday.
great! Yeah, so it's a mentorship program where CPS kids can come in and just learn about technology in a fun and accessible way. When I was there that day, they were making their own drones and understanding the technology behind it, and so finding those opportunities to inspire kids to understand that their potential isn't defined by their existing circumstances. Giving them a vision of themselves as a creator, an entrepreneur, or an owner is really important. And so we are committed to, of course, supporting the current entrepreneurs that want to start and grow their business, but also it's important for us to reach downstream and inspire the next generation, particularly the ones that are vulnerable.
Absolutely. So, a little off script here. What advice would you give to a small business that wants to help put into the youth to help grow the city of technology from the ground up?
Just show up. I think what I find is that there's a civil rights leader called Brian Stevenson, and he talks a lot about well-meaning people who aren't close to the folks that they're trying to support. And he challenges people who want to make a change to get proximate, to be in the community. And so, there is both the superintendent and the mayor are asking for help.
Okay.
And what we need is for leaders who have been able to overcome those obstacles to reach back into the community and to help. And there's so many programs that exist like Black Boys in Tech, but just showing up to career day or to job fairs or showing up to be a mentor, to tutor. A lot of the challenges that we have in the city are because a lot of families either don't have the capacity or the interest to support their children. And so it becomes incumbent upon us to show up as much as we can to fill that gap.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just by being accessible, by showing up, following my own advice, by participating in the various programs, not just from resources from the city, but also my own personal participation. And by partnering to try and help us fix some of the public policy challenges we've had. I've talked a lot about poverty and gun violence, but something as basic as potholes. Councilmember Nolan just led a hacking session with some of our more talented local entrepreneurs and said, look, we've got a challenge with potholes in the city. It's a resource challenge, to be sure, but it's also a logistics and technology challenge. And how can we be thinking about this differently? How can we kind of bring folks in who haven't been living and breathing potholes for the last 4 years and get a different perspective? And so really both supporting but also partnering by giving opportunities to disrupt the way that we always do things. We're always looking to innovate. We're always looking to get better. One of I've worked in both the public sector and the private sector, and a lot of the things that people say about the public sector are just not true. But what is true is that the public sector is a lot less risk tolerant than the private sector. It's really hard to innovate in the city because you're dealing with taxpayer dollars, there's a lot of scrutiny, and failure is inherent in innovation. And so by partnering with local startups, it really gives us that opportunity to break things and to make things better.
Absolutely. We had the opportunity to go and actually see the demo day for that flywheel at 1819 Innovation Hub. We were able to see those, and I was really impressed by a lot of the solutions that had come up. And as a car guy, I'm a car guy. I love, I drive my little Japanese sports car around. I really am loving to see that because I was driving up Queen City, and it was knocking things off of my car, making things fall loose, and to see
about that.
Hey, and that's it's Cincinnati. I've lived in Cincinnati. I know potholes are always going to be an issue with the salt, with the weather. It's understandable, but as somebody who likes to drive cars like that, I love to be able to see that my city's putting work in to actually solve those problems, where before I felt like maybe we weren't working towards that as much. So it's great and fantastic to see that. Yeah, I'm a Sidewinder boy for sure. I grew up in Northside. Sidewinder is probably one of my favorite spots to go to and get coffee. And then Bright, I see the future for Midwest in technology being bright, very bright.
Yeah, if I could have two, I'm sorry, but Black Coffee is the coffee spot closest to City Hall that
Absolutely.
Everyone in this
Shout out
building,
to Black Coffee.
everyone in this building goes to the most. And then my personal favorite just in the city is a cafe, Asian owned, called Mochico, and it's in Walnut Hills, and it is fantastic. Can't say enough about the coffee, but also the pastries are delicious. The reason we are so working with so much urgency on the issues that we're talking about today is because we don't just believe that we're the future of technology, the Midwest, but we should be. We deserve to be. We have the resources. We have the risk tolerant spirit, and more than anything, we've got the talent. And I think people are seeing that more and more these days, that there are incredibly ambitious and smart and big dreamers that make up Cincinnati. And it's my job as mayor to unleash that onto the rest of the world in a really positive way. And I'm really looking forward to continuing that work.
We really appreciate you having us on and talking to us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
Thank you both.